In your survey, some of you mentioned that you have some pastels as well. So there's a couple different types of pastels that you might be interested in working with. Working with pastels can be really similar to working with a painting. One type of pastel that you might have would be oil pastels, which, let me show you the cover here. This is, you know, just a pretty old oil pastel set here. Another type of pastel is like a chalk pastel or a soft pastel, which works a lot like maybe like a sidewalk chalk. So these are going to be really soft, just like a chalk would. So a couple quick techniques here with oil pastels and blending. Oil pastels are kind of fun to play around with. You probably use these in elementary school as well. You can kind of, you know, go pedal to the metal a little bit heavier handed with these if you want to. So here I'm kind of just overlapping some colors. If you want to use your finger to blend, you can do that with oil pastels. Be careful. I wouldn't want to use this finger to now blend something that was blue because, of course, then I would get my orange and my blue and make kind of a brown color. So you can play around with mixing different colors. You can lighten colors by adding, you know, white on top, and darken colors by adding the darker color next to it on the color wheel, or adding blues or violets. So oil pastels are kind of fun to play around with. The other thing you should know about oil pastels is if you have any baby oil at your house, you can actually blend these even more using just like a Q-tip and some baby oil. Something else to play with. Scumbling is similar to the technique that we learned in colored pencils, where you're creating some different textural effects. In fact, a lot of those colored pencil techniques would also work well with something like oil pastels, and you can create some different textures this way. And just, you know, another way to use them. And then again, sgraffito, which is something that we looked at just a little bit with the colored pencils, we're going to notice that it has a much bigger effect here with the oil pastel. So if you find something sharp, you can go on in with your sharp tool and you can now scratch away at that oil pastel in order to create some different textures that way. So it can be a neat way to either reveal the color of the paper underneath, or you could even layer different colors of oil pastel on top of each other and remove the top layer in order to reveal the second layer. Very similar to kind of what you guys did with in ceramics. Soft pastel is, you know, just like working with chalk. So again, it covers quickly. Your pressure doesn't have a whole ton of effect to it. You can use the side of the pastel if you wanted to cover areas more quickly. And then you can also kind of blend with your finger. But again, being careful about, I wouldn't want to use that finger to then blend something that's completely opposite color. Soft pastel can be pretty messy. The other thing that you need to be careful with if you decide to use a soft pastel is that it will smear very easily. One thing you could do is if you have any hairspray, you could take this outside when you're finished and just really lightly give it a few hairspray, kind of spray it, or if you have one of those aerosol ones, you can kind of give it a coating, and that will at least help to prevent it from completely smearing. I would recommend you also put just kind of a loose sheet or piece of computer paper, Nova paper on top of your work in order to keep it safe. So that's a little bit about pastels. Again, have some fun playing with those. Experiment if you have them.